Welcome back to the Sawmill, friends. Real fast here. Let me cover a few things and we'll get started. I got a poplar over here on the loading arms. This is a 12-footer. We're sawing this into 1.5-inch planks for a friend of mine. He's having a wedding for his daughter and they want some benches outside, so we're going to be sawing these up green. He's going to use them in a few days and that'll be just fine as far as that goes. He wants them live edge on both sides, so I'll make one cut on the top. I'll flip it over, put that side on the bed, then I'll come straight down and make 1.5-inch cuts until we're through the entire log. There may be some rainbow color in this first one based on what I'm seeing on the end grain. And if you're kind of wondering what causes the rainbow color, it's caused by minerals in the ground wherever the tree grows. Those minerals get in the tree as far as the grain goes and cause that reaction that causes that color. And it's just by chance that a poplar tree will have that based on the soil conditions wherever it grows at. It's just by luck most of the time. And I don't think any other tree has that rainbow color in this country as far as being grown in an area with the mineral in the soil. But I could be wrong about that. If I am, maybe a forester will pipe up down the comments and let us know the difference in that. And we all might learn something today. On the Sawmill, we've got a Maine Silvertip Turbo 7. I've had that blade on there for a few days, so it's kind of getting dull, but I think there's enough life left in it to get through this log. He's wanting 16 planks, so we'll probably have to go grab another log after this one. I won't get all of them out of this one log right here. And I need to get going because he'll be here in about 3 hours, and he's bringing me a load of white pine. So you guys hang in there. We got a lot going on today. What'd you guys think about that pine? That was a good sized load right there, wasn't it? That was about probably 1,200, maybe 1,500 board feet. Not too bad. But we do have one issue with those logs. Carpenter bees. Not carpenter bees, my goodness, carpenter ants. Oh, I tell you what, I can't talk sometimes. I was looking over the logs and there's a lot of carpenter ants in 2 of the logs, and they're kind of spread out on a few other ones. So before we bring those up to the sawmill, we need to spray them and kill them. So what I like to do in something like that, I'll get this stuff right here. This is called a Bio Advanced Carpenter Ant and Termite Killer. I think I get this at Lowe's. Maybe the feed store, I can't remember. I've had this for a while. I don't use a whole lot of it. But keep this on hand. When you see carpenter ants or stuff like that on a log, soak it down before you bring it up to the sawmill. Let it lay there for a couple of days and really kill those things, because this stuff works, guys. And you don't want those ants up here at your sawmill crawling everywhere, because it's happened to me more than once. I never measure this out. I just kind of dump some in there. Probably more than it needs. I'm all about overkill though. Put the top back on. Let's go kill some ants. All right, friends, we got that finished up. Now we're going to change gears a little bit. We got the 574 up here. I got the flail mower hooked up to the back of it. And I think I need to put some fuel in it. And we're going to head over here to the garden and knock down all the weeds. Because, friends, we had a really good year in the garden, but usually about the 1st of August, end of July, I'm kind of done with it. We get all of our good food out of it. We harvest our tomatoes and our beans and our corn. And at that point, I get kind of sick of it and I let the weeds take over. And it's a mess right now, to be honest with you. So we're going to take the flail mower over there, knock that down, and then here in about probably 2 hours, we're going to let the chickens come up there and kind of scratch around and eat up all the waste. Before I add fuel to the tractor, for you guys that are new to the channel, this is our TYM 574. It's a 55 horsepower hydrostatic tractor. I've had this tractor for 2 years, and friends, it's the best tractor I've ever owned. This tractor is really reliable. It's never failed me. And back here on the back of it, I got a flail mower. So you can't see them, but inside of the housing right there, there are some hammers that swing on a shaft, and they pretty much just shear the weeds, the undergrowth, anything you want to do. This thing right here can power right through it. A lot of people actually use these things to mow their yard. And this one's pretty neat because it's a side shift. Right there's the hydraulic cylinder, so if I want to move this over like I have it right now, you can see the distance between the end of the mower and the tractor. By the push of a lever, I can bring this back over even with the back of the tractor. That's a real nice feature right there. So if you're mowing somewhere and you're not sure what you're driving into and you want to stay out of it, you can shift this thing over and kind of mow beside you and keep your tractor out of the tall weeds or the unknown. And before we get started, I need to fill up the tank. This right here is going to be expensive. My 100-gallon tank is getting really low, friends. It's about time I made that phone call to the co-op to have them fill it up. All right, got it filled up, ready to put it to work. Start the tractor up here. I left you guys behind me. I'm going to show you all what it looks like when I do the side shift on the flail mower. Get out of here. This place has been infested here lately with grasshoppers. They're everywhere. All right, let's raise it up off the ground. So if you watch closely, I'm going to bring it back toward the tractor. There we go. If you want to go back out beside the tires, do that. It's pretty neat, guys. That's a really good feature. I'll tell you what, guys, this garden is a mess. What I really like about this 574 when you run an attachment is that it's got a hydrostatic transmission, so you can go really slow or really fast just by the push of the pedal. and you're not pushing the clutch down. That's a really good feature when you're doing PTO work.